Okay, well, good morning. Um, this morning I'm going to talk about a little bit about the our next assignment, this interactive cookbook. And what I wanted to do in the last class is to kind of show you the digital publishing feature of InDesign, which is just absolutely amazing. I'm really get excited about the digital publishing feature. We talked about EPUBs. We talked about how to take an interactive InDesign document and make a EPUB out of it. We exported that out to the desktop, and then I have iBooks on my Mac, so we're able to view the EPUB that way. But again, just in review, one of the downsides of creating a document like that, an EPUB, is that if it's a large file, then it gets a little cumbersome to send that to somebody, especially if it has a video in it. Video files are huge, and if you create an EPUB that has a video in it and you try and email that to somebody, you're going to get stopped, with file size capacity. Not going to be able to email anything over, what is it, like 20 megabytes in Google Gmail or something. So that doesn't become a very viable option if you can't send a file to somebody. So this idea of publishing it to Adobe's website, which I'm going to show you, because I have a computer that actually makes that work now. The computer that I was on last week, I was not able to do publish online. And that's why I had asked you to show me, and then you could show me your screen. But you don't have to do that anymore because my computer will actually publish online now. So I can just walk you through the steps, and you can just follow it on your computer. The advantage to using Publish Online is that everything exists on Adobe's website. I believe it's INDD for InDesign.adobe.com. And all you have to do is send the URL to anybody, and they click on it, and if they have whatever browser they're in, whatever platform they're on, whether it's Windows or Mac or Linux or whatever, they just click on that link and their browser launches and they see your interactive document. They could read your book. They could see everything. So it's just very quick, and they don't have to download a big EPUB file and read it in an EPUB reader, because a lot of people don't even have EPUB readers. So anyway, that's what I want to show you. So I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to share my screen. And so that's what we'll be talking about in the beginning of class. And then I want to start talking about how to create what's called an object state or object states in InDesign. Again, it's one of the digital publishing features, but it allows you to create a really cool, it allows you to do a lot of things. But the one I'm going to show you is how to create a slideshow. A slideshow being that if you had a photograph on your page and you wanted to show many photographs on that page, like 20, 30, 40, 50, you can do so by stacking all of the photos underneath each other, and then through a button you can click forward and cycle through all of those photos, and they just keep swapping out as you click. You can go forwards, you can go backwards. So that means one page can contain an entire slideshow of photos. You don't see them all at once, but they're there underneath. So I want to show you how to do that. So I don't know how far we'll get on that today, but we'll start it at least. Okay, so let's go to InDesign. And I've launched InDesign here. Pull this down here. And this is a brochure for Canon. I don't know if I showed this to you. I might have the other day. But it's a 4-page brochure that has a cover. And this is a brochure for this particular lens for Canon cameras. It's the 70-200, the lens that I so want, but it's so expensive. Page 2 and 3 is a spread. And if we move, get all this stuff out of here. We move this over here, you can see the spread. And then the back cover. Okay, so that's what basically makes up this brochure. Okay, so what I did was I went to page 2 and 3, and I inserted a video right here. And I did that simply by placing it, file place. I found a video on my hard drive, and then I placed it in here. So this video is of me, and let's preview this for a sec. So the only way that, see, there's no way to preview the video in this interface here. So there's a couple ways we could preview it. We can preview it by going to this EPUB reader here, what we did before. So this launches, that comes out, and then the video can be played. Okay, that's one way to preview the video. Another way to preview the video is just by pulling out the media tab right here, just clicking on this media tab. And this represents the selected video. So I have to click on this video in order for it to show here. So I click on the video after I place it, and then I play it. Okay, now I believe in the last class I talked about setting navigation points to this video, how we can set certain points in the video and label them and create buttons for us to go to those specific points of the video. I have found out in my over the weekend, since I got this new computer from Platt College that they're letting me borrow, that has the latest Adobe Creative Cloud on it, which is 2020. So it's wonderful. I have the latest version of the Creative Cloud. However, when I launched InDesign, I found out in the Media tab that it no longer accommodates setting navigation points for videos. Right after I gave a lecture to you and another class about how to do that. And I found out this new version doesn't accommodate that. So that's great. So that means that Adobe's not going to support navigation points. So whatever I told you, you know, if you have an older version, if you have 2019 CC or 2018, 17, whatever, you'll be able to do that. But just, it's probably not going to work pretty soon because they're not supporting it. So we're going to scrap that. You can still place a video in an InDesign document, and you can still publish it online, and it'll still play, but you just can't do the navigation points anymore. So that's what was missing here in this controller, in this media panel. I was looking for it, and I was like, where is it? And it's no longer there. Okay. Anyway, here is the video that I placed, and I've tested it. It works. So now what I'm going to do is publish this. Now, we already talked about publishing an EPUB, and that was as simple as going to File, Export, and choosing EPUB Fixed Layout. I saved it to my desktop, I clicked Save, and then it automatically opened in iBooks, and everything was great. Fine and dandy, everything worked. That's one way, but again, that creates a very large EPUB file that you would have to send to somebody. So here's a better way to do that. Once you have your document created, once you have all the interactivity done, and I created interactivity in this main photo here. This will fly in from the right side. Let's create some more interactivity just for the heck of it, just so that we can see stuff. I'm going to select this and go to animation real quick and just choose a just, I don't know, flying from top. Okay, so that flies in. I'm gonna choose that as a let's just try a bunch of stuff. Up here, let's say whatever that does. Oh, that just makes it appear. I'll click this one down here and I'll select an animation of how about bounce? Bounce medium. Oh, that's going to bounce off the page. Okay, let's not do that. Oh, I see. That's going to bounce like that. How about fly out? Okay, so fly out to the right. There you go. So it'll appear, and then at the end it'll fly out to the right. Okay, we talked about our timing panel before. We talked that every time we do something to create an animation that, let's see, okay. On page load, okay. Every time we create an animation, it selects what goes first. So right now, this lens hood is going to be the first thing to fly in. Then this is going to happen, then this, and then this. I can change the order of the timing. So in other words, if I want the fly out to happen first, I just bring this up to the top, or bring this underneath. And now this right here is going to fly out first, and then all of these other things are going to happen. So you can change the timing of what is happening. Okay, I'm going to put this back and make this the last thing that happens. Okay, so let's check the animation before we publish it. I'm going to do down here, I'm going to preview it as an EPUB. Let's see what happens. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then that flies out. Okay, so everything is working the way we want it to. The order is correct. Now that flew out. It's not going to fly back in, so that might not be a good animation to do if you make something fly out. Unless it's like a car and you keep it there for a long time and then finally the car flies out and drives away or something. That would be neat, you know, if the car flew out and then as it flies away or drives away, then underneath that car is a message like, you know, come to Penske Honda, or buy it at Penske Honda or something. Anyway, okay, so let's close this out. And our document is all ready to publish now. So here's the way you do it. In your version of InDesign, you might have a little tab up here that says Publish Online. If you do, just click it. This is the newest version of InDesign, and it has it right here in this little icon. So I'll click that, and I slide down to Publish Online. Okay. So this is the first dialog box that you're going to see, and you're just going to be on the General tab by default. There's two choices here: publish this as a new document or update an existing document. Now, if you publish this already and you're making a change, maybe just a small little change, you don't need to publish the whole thing all over again. So all you do is update and click update. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do because I already published this. Okay, I already published it once, so I don't need to publish it new. If you are publishing it for the first time, then it will obviously be published new document. You're going to give it a title, and usually it gives it the title of the name of the file that you saved it as. It automatically defaults to that. You can change it though, and then you can type in a description. For my purposes, I just wrote test for video. I'll just say test for video and animations. Okay. I'm going to export this as a spread because my first page here is a spread. I mean my middle page is a spread. So I don't want to export as single pages. Otherwise it's going to do this separately and then this side separately. So I want it to read as a spread. all the pages will be published, and then I'll click publish. Now it says, you sure you want to update, because it's already has one of them up there, and I'll say yes, I do. And then it's going to upload my changes. Okay, and it will do that much faster if it's just updating. If you're publishing a new document, it's going to take longer because it thinks it's a brand new document. When you have videos in your document, they take longer to upload. The longer the video, the longer it takes to upload. Okay, now once it's done, here's something to pay attention to, and that's really cool. It gives you a URL to Adobe's website. This is the URL that you're going to copy and send to your clients or friends, family, whatever, or paste to your Facebook page, or paste to your website, or paste anywhere. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to click on copy. Now, before I close this out, I'm going to view the document. I want to view it as it is on Adobe's website. So I'm going to view document. Now it launches Adobe's website. So if you look up here in the URL, we are now at indd.adobe.com. Okay, / all of this business here. But we're sitting on Adobe's website now. You have, with a subscription, with a cloud subscription, you have, I think, unlimited storage space on Adobe's website. So you can upload umpteen files to this. And just remember that that's part of your subscription. So you have this. It's a great place to back up your work. You know, if you do work, back it up to the cloud because you have that subscription. Okay, so here is page 1 of my Canon brochure. I don't have any animations for this, but let's go to the spread. Okay, I'm going to click the next page, and there's my animations, and they're all working. There's my video, and if I click on that, oh, you know what? I don't know if you're hearing that. Are you hearing this?
No.
Are you hearing that video?
No, I'm not hearing the video.
Okay, all right. It's because when I shared my screen, I didn't do share computer sound. I'm sorry. Okay. So now you should hear this video. By using the Media tab in Adobe InDesign, can you hear it now?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, Design. You're able to bring in video into a document, play it, pause it. The only thing you can't do with the new CC20 2020 version of, okay, I'm going to stop it there. And if you notice down here in the interface, if I can get all this junk out of here, down here you have controls. Let me put this up here for now. You have these controls down here. Now this is a thumbnail that you can toggle. So if I click on this, the user will be able to go to page 1, see the spread, and then go quickly this way. So if this was a long magazine of like 50 pages, you would see these thumbnails down here, and then a right arrow to keep, you know, moving you through the magazine really quick if you have to get to a specific page real quick. So you can do it that way. Without the thumbnails, you can see the page full screen. You can also, so with these thumbnails, I can go right to the spread, and then you can zoom in if you want. You can zoom in to the video. Let's say I want to zoom in. I click that once, and then just kind of click and move myself over. Zoom in again, and then I can play the video. So there of the Media tab is to put in navigation points. And navigation points used to be really nice because you can take those buttons and program them to different parts of your video. Okay, so now obviously you can't do that, so the only way you're going to find your spot is just like on YouTube, where you're going to have to just kind of move your slider until you get to that spot that you want. And unlike YouTube, it doesn't give you thumbnails as you move the slider. You know how you get thumbnails and you can visually see where you are. Fortunately, you can't do that. But the nice thing about this, let me back out of this. Let me zoom out so we can see full screen. The nice thing about it is that you have this beautiful interactive document, that people can see right away, and you can put videos and load them up with videos, and they can be incorporated into your design, which is really nice, rather than having to go to YouTube to see that video. A lot of times, there are YouTube links, and then it launches YouTube when you click on the video. This one, you could see it in your document. So you can do a children's book, and in that children's book, you can have a video that you created, and it will play inside of your book without going to YouTube. Okay, all of the animations work. If you want to refresh this page just to see how it works again, just hit the refresh button up here, just click that, and that should refresh the page. You can click on these arrows here to move forward to the next page, or you can use your arrow key, I believe. Can you? Yes. You can use your right arrow key or left arrow key to navigate through the document. So that is digital publishing. Okay, so now let me go back to InDesign. This is where we last left off. Okay, we viewed the document, we've copied the URL, and we're going to close this out. Okay, so now we're back in InDesign. Let me put this down here. I'm going to close out InDesign, or just minimize it for a minute. This is our adobe.com page from my Chrome browser. Let me close this out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to email that link to myself. So I'm going to go to my email. And I'm going to compose an email, and I'm going to say to me, my account. And the subject is going to be the Canon brochure. Canon, I'll just say Canon test. And down here, I'm going to say, check out this link. And I'll paste it in, Command V, because I copied it from, and there it is. And then I'm going to send that to, let's say, my client that I did this for. Oops. Yeah. Where did that go? Oh, I think I screwed up here. Let me do this again. Send it to me. Subject. Canon test. And, okay. Check out this link. And paste that in. Okay. That's the problem with all of this nonsense here. Okay, so I'm going to send this to myself. Yeah, see, these things just get in the way. So send. Okay, so here's the link that I just got. I'll click on this email, and there's the link to my interactive document. And when somebody clicks on this link, it launches adobe.com, ind.adobe.com, and there you go. And they can see your everything, your video, your animations. So there you have it. Okay, so there you have it. That is how you use digital publishing. And it is just, for me, a really cool tool to be able to create interactivity and then send it to somebody. Uh, and like I said before, you can offer this service to people. They will pay you to do this. I guarantee you, to have interactivity like this in their material. Imagine a store, imagine a restaurant, imagine, any kind of place of business that has a website. I mean, they can create interactive invitations, interactive advertising, and just email blast out links to, an email list. So, very powerful tool. Okay, so digital publishing, not digital publishing, but publish online. Okay, so try it out, check it out. In fact, I'm going to have you publish online your interactive cookbook that you're doing for this assignment. So that will actually be part of the assignment. And I think you'll really, really enjoy this.
Did you actually use that for Canon?
No, this was a school assignment that I created for students. Yeah, I wish. I
Because
wish
no, I
that.
see that you didn't use placeholder text. That's actual text.
Yeah, this is actual text that I got from Canon's website on this particular lens.
Oh, okay.
So, no, it is not me that did this. Okay, one other thing, Miriam, I want to mention here is that once you publish online, you might be thinking, well, where does it go? I mean, it went to adobe.com, but where is the file located on, adobe.com? So when you're in InDesign, you also have this under File. You have, now you can get to Publish Online here too. Okay, so not just up here, you can just go to File, Publish Online. So there's several ways you can get there. But underneath Publish Online, you have Publish Online Dashboard. Now that's going to take you to Adobe's website, but it's going to take you to the dashboard where you can manage your files. So you'll see where your files are. It's kind of like YouTube. YouTube has the YouTube Studio dashboard, and you can see all your YouTube videos. So if I go to Publish Online Dashboard, it's going to launch in the browser, and here it is. Okay, it's that same URL. You're on adobe.com right now, but this is your personal account. And you'll see your account represented here, okay, because you're a Creative Cloud subscriber. And here are the files of the that you've uploaded to Publish Online. Right now I only have 2 files, and here's my Canon project that I just uploaded. So this kind of shows you what your projects are. Now when you hover over this, when you hover over it, you get these icons here. If you want to delete it from Adobe's website, you just click the trash can and it's gone. There's some other things that you can do. You can share this file. You can, get, I don't even know what some of this stuff is. Oh, these are analytics. So this might actually tell you how many people have actually seen that video that have, or shared it or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to close that out. So what I use this for is deleting files. Let's say you publish something and it's online, and 3 years go by and you see all these files on your Publish Online, and you go, you know what, I just don't need that one anymore, so you just delete it. Okay, but this is how you manage your files. Oh, okay, here's the analytics. Tells you how many views, how many readers you have, average read time, all of that stuff. So this is really kind of cool, some cool stuff. So that is that. And that is located under your InDesign Publish Online dashboard. That's how you get there. All right. Time is it? 11:30? Okay. What I thought I'd... first of all, let me just review the assignment. Now, I had published that assignment in the last class. If you can refresh my memory, did I publish that interactive cookbook design, this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have all the specs on this. Okay. All right, so I don't have to go over this. Let's go back to InDesign, and what I want to do is show you this next tab here, which is called Object States. And let me open up a new document. Yeah, I just opened up a square document here. That's fine. Okay. Now, Object States is the panel that you use to create, like I said, a lot of different things, but what we're going to do is we're going to create a slideshow. And a slideshow is just simply photos that are stacked on top of each other that we're going to use a button to trigger this slideshow. The way you create a slideshow is you import a number of photos that you need to that you want in your slideshow, and then you group them and you create what's called an object state out of them. So it's like taking all these photos on your page, selecting all of them, and then going and making an object state and naming it. So in the let's do that from scratch. I know this might be, it's actually good to do it from scratch. So unless I have some photos here on my hard drive, let me see if I have a bunch of photos that we can just import in real quick. Bear with me for a sec while I kind of look for a bunch of photos here. Yeah, I'm probably not going to have it in this on this hard drive. Let me just see. Sample photos. Okay, what do I have? Oh, okay, these are all raw photos, which are really demo photos. What do I have here? No, again, those are raw photos. Okay, unfortunately, food shots, what's in here? These are all raw photos again. All right, tell you what, I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to grab some photos from Google. So let's just go there. And I'm going to do a generic search for, I don't know, let's just say flowers. And let me go to images. And let me grab some flower pics. Going to control click on this on a Mac and save the image. And I'll save it to my desktop. Just leave it at that name. Click Save. Grab this photo here. I'm not paying attention to the resolution right now, and I should, but just for the sake of time, I'm just going to save this. Oh, I don't want to save the link. I want to save the image. And again, I'll save it to the desktop. Okay, so that's 2 photos. I'll grab this one, save this image to the desktop, and maybe I'll grab one more photo. How about this rose photo, and save image as, save it to the desktop. Okay, so I've got 4 images on the desktop. There they are right there, if you can peek and see my desktop right there. Here's my 4 images. And what I'm going to do is place all of those images inside InDesign. So I'm going to go to File and Place. I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to grab, oh, this one here says it's a web. Maybe I saved it as a web link, so I screwed that one up. Okay, I'm going to grab these 3 then. Let me just grab these 3. I'm going to Shift Select all 3, and you know you can place multiple images in InDesign. So I'll click Open, and here I am in InDesign, and I'm gonna just draw a box, click, and then here comes my second one, click, and here comes my third one, click. Okay, so I have 3 photos. Now these 3 photos need to be the same exact size, because to do a slideshow, what you're going to do is you're going to put each photo on top of each other. And so they have to be the same size. You don't want one bigger and one smaller and one longer and taller and so forth. So I'm going to get in here and zoom in. Put this object states away for a sec. And let's say that that's the photo I'm going to use to start with. So I'm going to bring this photo up, stick it right on top of that. And I'm going to enlarge this photo until it fills at least the width of this, and then I'm going to crop it. Okay, now you probably wouldn't want to do it this way, but just for the sake of time, I want to make these 3 photos exactly the same size. So I'm going to hold the Command and Shift key down, grab the corner, and just enlarge this up until it matches the width of that photo. And then I'm going to grab this. You know what, I'll crop in from the top. So I'm going to grab this and move it up and move it where it covers the bottom there, and then I'll grab this and I'll crop it in. And I'll crop it all the way till it matches the top of this photo. Okay, so now this photo is exactly the same size as this photo. I'll do the same with this. I'll bring this over. Put this right on top. Oh, this has to be in front. When I move this on top, we didn't see it. That means it's behind this. So with that selected, I'm going to go to Object, Arrange to Front. Okay, and that brings our photo in front. And again, I'm going to have to do the same thing. I'm going to enlarge this, Command and Shift. Click the corner, slowly drag this up until it meets the width. I'll drag this up. Okay, and just get it right so it sits right there, and then I'll crop in from the top until that becomes the exact same size. Okay, so now what I have are 3 photos that are exactly the same size that are sitting right on top of each other. I want to select everything. And when you marquee select what you're doing is you're selecting everything underneath it. So if there's anything underneath a photo when you do this selection in this manner, it selects everything underneath. If all I did was click on the photo, then all I'm doing is selecting the top photo. Okay, so if you want to select all the way back deep as far as it goes, just select it this way. Okay, so I'll do that. I'll select everything, and then I'll go to Object States. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an object state out of these 3 photos. So it says, click the New button to make each object a separate state. So here's the New button right here. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. And notice how we have the 3 photos. So what this did was this saw through all 3 photos, and it's showing them as individual states. Now watch what happens when I click on state 2. Swaps it out. State 3 swaps it out. So I can go through all of these photos and choose whichever one I want to see, okay, based on this menu. So imagine having 50 photos in this object state. You can have lots of photos in one small area of your layout. Okay, this could be, literally placed over here in the layout, and then you can have a button here that says forward and back, and the user can click that button and go through your entire slideshow. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create this as a slideshow. Once I have an object state, I am going to make a button. So now a typical button for a slideshow would be an arrow pointing right and an arrow pointing left. I mean, that would be normally what you would see. We could do that with a triangle. We can make a nice little triangle this way, triangle that way, or we can get one of the buttons from our button sample forms, okay, that I showed you the other day in the video, where we go to buttons and forms and grab sample buttons. And there's our sample buttons. And then we can kind of come down and choose arrowheads. And there we have some nice little arrowheads, one pointing to the right, one pointing to the left, in different color schemes. How about, because it's flowers, we use the green one. So I'll grab this, I'll click on it and just drag it out and stick it right there. And I'll grab the right one, drag that out, and stick it right there. Then I'll put my sample buttons away. And I'll put this one here. And notice how it kind of gives you alignment help. It tells you when these are aligned. If this is down here, okay, let me zoom into this a little bit so you can see that. And see when I bring this up, see there, it's aligned right there. Okay, so that's a nice little feature. Let me back out of that. Okay, so now I want to program this button to kind of move forward and move back. So this button right here is going to move me to the next state. Remember, these are all object states, right? When we clicked object states, we can see that this is state 1, state 2, and state 3. Now what you might want to do here is you might want to label your states, especially if you have lots of photos with specific names, that you want to get to. I might call this red roses. And I'll call this one, arrangement, pink, arrangement. And which one is this? Okay, I'll call these, what are these? I'll call these yellow. I should know what those are. Yellow flowers, okay. So you can name your states. I'm going to click on this button, go back to my buttons and forms. And what is it? It is a button. Now, what do you want that action to do? Okay, again, remember we talked about buttons going to different pages or buttons activating navigation points, which we no longer can use anymore. So we don't want it to go to the next page. So I'm going to get rid of this action because we don't need it. I'll minus that action. So there's nothing here. Now I want to choose an action. So what is the action that I want to choose? Well, I want the button to go to the next state. This one goes to the next state, not the previous state, but the next photo. Okay, so the right goes forward and the left goes back. So next state, all right? So that's what, when you click on this button, and after you release the mouse, it's going to go to the next picture, basically. So the object that it's going to go to is the multi-state object that we made, the object state. Okay, this state right here, which is called multi-state 1. You can have different object states on your page. You can have a slideshow over here, you can have a slideshow over here, you can have all kind of things going on the page. We only have one, so that is called multi-state 1. Now we can also name this. We could call this the flower slideshow. In fact, let's do that. Let's call this the flower slideshow. Okay. And because I named this state the flower slideshow, now when I go to buttons and I click on this button, it's going to go to the next state, which is the flower slideshow. See how it already updated it here? Because I named it. Okay, now when it's in the normal state, this button, it's green. But when I roll over it, maybe I want it to change color. So let's do that. I'm going to click the rollover state, and I'm going to go to my swatches panel. And let's just make it a distinct color. So I'll make it magenta when you roll over it. Okay. Close out the swatches panel. And so the normal state is going to be green, and then when you roll over it, it's going to be red. When you click on it, it's going to go to the next state or the next picture. Okay, so everything is done, and I can close this out, and now we can test this to see if it works. Now remember, the way we test it is through clicking any one of these. I can click object states, and down in the left corner, whether it's timing down in the left corner or animation down in the left corner, that gives us our EPUB preview. So let's go to the EPUB preview. All right, so here is our graphic. When I roll over it, it changes to pink or magenta. When I click on it, it swaps out the photo. And it keeps going forward and repeats itself. But again, if this were 50 photos, it would keep on going to the next photo. So I know that works. Now I got to program this because this hasn't been programmed, so nothing happens when I click on this. But I want this to go back. Okay, so let's just program that. That's very simple to do. I click on this button, go to my button state. I'm going to choose what the I'm sorry, not animation. Buttons and forms. I don't want it to go to the previous page. I want it to go to the previous state. So I'm going to minus out this action and give it the action of going to the previous state. Okay, that means going back. So I click on that. Flower slideshow. It's the only slideshow we have on the page. I'm going to make the rollover magenta. Click back to normal state because that's what we want to see when the page loads. And so this should now go backwards, and this should go forward. So let's test that out. Let's go to our preview. So bottom left corner. So this goes forward. That's the pink. So if I click this, this should go back to the red roses. And it does. This goes backwards. This goes forwards. Roll over red, roll over red. Everything works. I've created a slideshow. So getting back to our Canon brochure, let's say, any one of these areas could be a slideshow with a button forward and a button back, and you can have 50 photos on this page in addition to a video, in addition to animations. I mean, you see, Miriam, I mean, this is like umpteen possibilities that you can have in this document. So that's the exciting part of all of this. This is the digital publishing feature of InDesign. So that's how you make a slideshow with object states. Now there's many things that you can do with object states, and there's more. And there's more things that we can do with buttons. In fact, when you click on a button, if you look at some of these actions a button can do, it can it can trigger things. You can go to pages, you can go to different states, you can go back and forward, you can go to a destination, meaning you can go to a website by clicking a button. So you don't need a URL to click on. I mean, the button can, and a button can be anything. A button can be a photo, an illustration, whatever you want it to be. I don't want to confuse you too much, but so many things that you can do. The nice thing too about a button is sometimes when you roll over a button, you can type will suddenly appear. So you can have a rollover. And that's basically the way, you can click on a button, a menu can drop down, and isn't that what happens here? On a Mac, you click on a button and a menu drops down. So you can program interactivity like this. Notice when I roll over, menus drop down. And you can create the same type of behavior in InDesign. So you can really make it, the interface, interesting. But that's all I want to talk about today, because I think that's enough to digest in one setting. So how to publish online, and also, grab that URL and you're able to send that to anybody. And then how to create an object state or a slideshow. That's the way we used it. And then the next class, I'll talk about button triggers and how it can trigger different actions on a page. So that may be kind of interesting.
For the next assignment, we are publishing it on Adobe, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Once you're done with your document, I want you to publish it online. And then what you'll end up doing is sending me the URL, and that's the way you'll submit your assignment.
Okay.
And I'll click on that URL and I'll go to adobe.com and I'll see your wonderful interactive cookbook.
Okay.
Have you chosen a theme of things to do, or are you still thinking about it, or?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do like my mom's recipes, like Peruvian food.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I also did like that for your previous class, like Art 148. So I think I'm gonna go around there, but just make it like nicer.
Yeah. That'd be great. All right, so let me stop sharing my screen, and I am just going to sign off unless you have any other questions. I will meet you again on Thursday. We'll probably have I'll talk about some other things on Thursday. I don't know if I'm going to get into button triggers yet, but anyway, we'll meet briefly on Thursday.
Okay.
Okay? So take care, and I'll see you then.
Okay, you too. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay.